careful with her, would you? And, pie.
Thanks for saving me from the Chuck Norris marathon with the snack run, Karlee.
No problem.
Don't get me wrong. Sharing a motel room with him after a hunt is an awesome way to celebrate. But the man's choice in movies is iffy, even on a good day.
What about mine? Digging into the law was not my idea of downtime after we cleaned out that nest. I'm coming back with nothing even remotely close to natural in it. Besides, you know I'm itching to take the wheel without your Mr. Backseat Driver and his comments. What?
Someone's by the car.
Of course. The one time he parks a mile away from the rooms. Really, Sandra? That's what you're going with for weapons?
Well, Dean never uses them.
Because throwing stars are as good of an idea as those films he makes you sit through.
Oh, put the demon blade away. It's our old partner in crime. Hey, I guess you're wanting to tag along again?
Well, come on in before Sam turns on the puppy dog eyes and makes me cave and bring him a salad, which I'm not going to do. I'm not a kale delivery system.
All right. Well, you know Dean's house rules in Baby. Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cakehole, and the ones in the back enjoy the ride, idling in the Impala.
Hope you like meatloaf.
For a snack?
Music, Sandra. Music. Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the supernatural fan fiction it inspires. My name is Karlee.
And I'm Sandra. And on this episode, we are honored to have AO3 royalty visiting with us. She's known as Winchester's Queen on AO3. And I was lucky to have connected with her back in May of 2020 when she commented on my very first Dean OFC fic, A View to a Winchester. So ever since then, my nickname for her is Dean Queen. And she's the ultimate author, cheerleader, and Dean lover. And so with that, we wanted to introduce her to our listeners. And I just want to say, Karlee and I are so looking forward to chatting with you. And thanks for coming on today, Kristen.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I was so honored that you guys asked me to do this. And, you know, I asked my mom, it's hard for me to shut up about supernatural. So, hooking up with you guys over on the Twitter and stuff has been awesome because I don't really have a whole lot of fandom friends locally.
I know. Yeah. It's like I have to go to like UK, Australia, New Mexico. It's like I
the literal other side of the continental US.
I'm okay with that though. I think that's awesome. I love having global friends.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We learned so many interesting things about just different parts of the world. 100%. Right.
And just I've met some amazing folks through the fandom. And that's just been like the biggest blessing.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Kristen, I wanted to ask if there's anything you wanted to like share about yourself first before we like start digging in and asking you a whole bunch of questions.
Well, I guess I would say that the work that I've done most of my life is around social justice. And I've worked in the homeless services community and advocated for the homeless and the mentally ill. And so I stopped doing that work a few years ago when my mom started having health issues. But I keep up with everything.
Awesome.
That's great. That sounds awesome. Really, really cool. I'm kind of envious. I work in customer service, which is infinitely less satisfying.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, you got to have a try, haven't you? You've got to sometimes you just have to do that.
So I know that, Kristen, we are going to be outnumbering Karlee today.
Okay.
Just because we're on Team Dean.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I kind of want to set up just a little competition between you two, because for an upcoming episode, Sandra managed to find 15 distinctions between the same haircut, and honestly, I'm kind of impressed. So I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to make it a big thing. I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to sit back and watch, and just maybe I'll rank at the end who I feel is the most Dean fangirl of this. Because could you find 15 differences between the same haircut, Kristen? Because I couldn't.
Well, actually, yes.
Oh, for goodness sake!
But here's the thing: it was like subtle differences over the years. It was season
exactly
1 to season 15, and it just changed a little tiny bit. Because if you look at season 1, it was a lot fluffier than in season 15.
Oh, listeners, I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks to the episode now. She came with a table. I'm not even kidding. She came to me. She was like, "Right, okay, we're gonna do like a hair ranking episode." Okay, fine. And I was like, "Yeah, all right." And I just went and Googled Sam hair by season, and I just went off the picture. And she forwarded me this document, and it was a table, and it had like it had all the borders and shit on it, and she'd got like standout episodes for every season. And I was like, "This is impossible. Like, it's the same."
That's hilarious.
Fucking haircut. I will charitably give him 5. I will charitably give him 5 haircuts over 15 seasons. And she was like, "But no, the sides are shorter in this one." I'm outnumbered, guys. I'm outnumbered. I'm getting a Sam person on next.
Oh goodness, yes, we're gonna have a Sam person soon.
I appreciate Sam's hair. I really do. And
you wouldn't be allowed on if you said anything different, Karlee.
I do have.
If you just said that, like, Sam's hair's too floppy or it's too long, I would just ended the Zoom. I would have been like, "So this episode's scrapped now."
So I do have my appreciation for Sam, and some of the fics that I read are the two of them as main characters. So it's not just like Dean Reader or Dean original female characters. So
good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, when you got into Supernatural, like, how did you get into Supernatural, the show? Like, how far back? Just for everybody else, because I know we've talked about it, but so everybody else can get a background.
Well, the pilot. And so I was watching from day one, and I've always been a big fan of WBCW, and I don't know, I'm older, but I've always liked the teen shows. Supernatural evolved over time as the guys grew up, and so I think towards the end it wasn't so much a teen show as originally was. But there were years that I didn't follow it as closely. But then the last few years, and I'm thinking 2015, from then on, it was just like every Thursday night. And I wanted to watch it live, not recorded or anything like that. People had to know that you don't mess with me on those nights. I can't even remember. And the last 4 years, I think it was Thursday, but I can't remember before that. And so, I just told everybody, I was like, nope. And of course, people would mess with me and be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, go away.
No, you know what I'm doing.
Cries in British, and we had to wait months and months for them to air over here. We were like 6 months behind you guys. It had finished for you guys before we even got a sniff at the first episode.
Oh, Aww. is that really, Karlee? I didn't realize that it took that long.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's been common. That's been common for like quite a long time, but with like Netflix and stuff. It's kind of phasing out because a lot of stuff doesn't come to like British TV anymore.
Right.
But yeah, like that's like it's not as bad now. Like we're usually only like a couple of weeks behind. Like stuff like The Walking Dead and when Big Bang Theory was airing would only be like a week or so behind. But especially
no. Sorry.
Like no, Karlee.
No, guy,
you're wrong.
After my headphones. Ouch, let me go.
But no, especially when Supernatural was in like the thick of it, sort of like 2015 and stuff, we were way, way, way behind.
Okay.
Like, honestly, I think it would have finished airing for you guys before it came to us, but I didn't watch any of it live apart from season 15.
Wow.
So
And I didn't
problem.
start until 2019. So Kristen, you actually started like 2005. Like, so you've been through it since the very beginning, watching it.
Yes. But I don't think I've seen every single episode. Amazing.
No.
I know.
No way.
I've never done a full rewatch of the series.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get to it this summer. That's my plan. And so from the beginning, and I know so many people I know have watched it so many times.
Yeah.
I have seen like all the major episodes.
Okay.
And I'm familiar with so much more, even episodes that I haven't actually seen. I remember storylines and so yeah, it's been amazing, but for a long time I didn't have any devices, so it was very difficult.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So listening to you, seeing that you've actually like were watching WB and so I'm assuming you knew of Jensen then before Supernatural, because I wanted to know what came first for you. Was it Jensen or was it Dean?
Well, Jensen.
Okay.
Jensen with Days of Our Lives, that's when it started.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean he's 8 years younger than me.
Okay.
Well, he's 7 years, 362 days younger than me, because our birthdays are right next to each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
you just had a birthday, right?
I did just
happy
last Friday.
Birthday. Oh,
thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. So I'm 3 days after him. And so I thought he was adorable, and I just loved him on Days of Our Lives. But it wasn't obsession yet. But then he did Dark Angel. And that was it. I was done. And so then he does Smallville, and I'm like, yep. And then when I found out he was doing the Supernatural, I was like, wow. I thought that was like, I knew just hearing about it, it was going to be like a hit show.
Yeah.
I just knew the premise, and with him doing it. And it's funny because I watched some Gilmore Girls, but I wasn't like a rabid watcher. So I wasn't as familiar with Jared.
Okay.
That's so interesting, Kristen. Isn't that interesting, Sandra?
It is interesting.
You know, in the context of comparing who might be the biggest Dean/Jensen fangirl. That's so interesting that you were, you started right out there with Days of Our Lives and didn't say come to Supernatural from Gilmore Girls and then turn your back on Jared, Sandra.
That's so funny.
I'm guilty of that.
I think that episode's gone out. I don't think I'm spoiling anything there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I came to Supernatural primarily because of Jared, seeing him like on the Netflix screen. I'm like, oh, I know him from Gilmore Girls. And yeah. So yeah, I didn't know who Jensen Ackles was until I started watching Supernatural. So yeah, no, I will give Kristen all of that. She is the Jensen.
Well, I honestly, though, until Supernatural is when I really found out about who he is, the kind of person he is, the personal information stuff. Because, back when Dark Angel was on, the fandoms weren't as organized or as big. I mean, there was online stuff, but I think around that time I was really into the Gladiator fandom, and so I devoted most of my time to that. At the time, I'm one that I'll pick one fandom and I stick with them for a while, and then I jump forward, with the exception of Supernatural.
So that's been with you
Can I
throughout.
just
Yeah.
can I just ask the Gladiator fandoms in the film Gladiator, or
Yeah, the Russell Crowe Gladiator film. Yeah.
All right, because we had
And
a TV show called Gladiators in like the 90s over here, and I wasn't sure if that had crossed the pond.
Oh, well, I don't know if it was the same premise. We have this idiotic show here called American Gladiators, but that's one of those fitness level kind of obstacle course shows. So,
like Ninja Warrior and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. Like
ours was kind of like that, where it was like general, like normal public people, and then like uber fit people, and they would like compete in obstacle courses and stuff. But it was like full of 90s cheese, and it was great. But it's been surpassed by like Ninja Warrior and stuff now. But I was like, did that make it over there, or are we talking about the Russell Crowe movie? Because that's a good movie.
So the Russell Crowe thing was a big thing for me, and then from there I went to Doctor Who, like really deep in the fandom. I had seen it since I was a kid, and my parents lived in England when it started, so they were watching it from '63. Cool. So I got really into it in the New Who, and I did that for a long time, and then I was just like, I'd go back and forth with that Supernatural. And then it was like, I don't know, some kind of thing flipped. And I was just like, I became rabid.
And so did the rabid leak into your fanfic? I mean, like was fandom and fanfic, was that interchangeable for you?
I had done, some fanfic under Russell Crowe, and I did quite a bit of fanfic for Doctor Who back over on what is it, Teaspoon, and I can't think of the website. It's a website devoted strictly to Doctor Who fanfic. And I'm a 10th Doctor one, so it was all about the 10th Doctor. And so not dissimilar, right? I have a habit of doing that. And I hadn't really been reading as much Supernatural. And I asked a friend of mine what a really good site for Supernatural fic was. And that's when she pointed me to AO3. Okay. And then, I was reading some, and I don't know how I got into the Dean-centric stories, but next thing you know, I'm like all about Dean. and that was it. And I like the reader inserts and the official, what's it called? The
the original like original character. Yeah.
Yeah. I should know that.
That's okay.
And so and I just since then it's been like the last 5 years. No, 6 years. Wait. 2015.
I know there's
to 2020
years are gone.
And we're 2022. That's right. So yes,
almost
7 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
So
very cool. Yeah.
So maybe Supernatural will be rebooted in another few years, and we could see what happens then. So it might have the same staying power as Doctor Who.
Looking forward to honestly, like Netflix series or rated R movie.
Yes.
Because I really want to hear them throw out a lot of fuck bombs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love the way they curse in fan fiction, and it's just more natural to me than and I'm a huge cusser, so it always makes me feel close to a character that cusses a lot.
Oh, so I get the vibe Dean-centric, and I know you're Dean-centric in terms of fanfic. Are there any particular like relationships or pairings that you really have grown to gravitate towards in your Supernatural picks?
Well, when it comes to characters on the show, I am of the unpopular opinions that I did not like Joe or Lisa.
Okay.
And honestly, I always wanted him to get together with Donna.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yes.
so that really my only ship is Dean and Donna. And I just always thought for some reason that the two of them would be amazing together. Because she's just this really strong character, and she's a Spitfire, and she's adorable as hell. She's gorgeous. I love the way that she does the Minnesota twang, and I love the way that she substitutes cute words for cussing.
Yeah.
Oh, I could totally Dean and Donna. I'm with that.
Yeah.
And Carly's got a big crush on Brianna too. So
so do I. So do I. To me, she's the most gorgeous woman on the planet.
She's really, I think she's just like over the years has blossomed too. Like she's just like when she's on stage. I mean, I know she could sing already, but I just feel like she's really got like this presence too. Like it's just like it's so fun watching her at conventions and stuff. And she's got that mane of hair. She's just gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
And I was like, one of the things that I love is of the conventions is Saturday Night Special, and watching her and Jensen sing together. Oh my God. Like they did Shallow and I cried. I thought it was so gorgeous, and it's way better than the original in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, and so, that's who I love as far as the ship goes. But when I'm reading fanfic, I'm generally doing OFCs or reader inserts.
So I know before we started like our official recording, you said once you find somebody, an author that you absolutely love, you like go into the archives and you just like you just go through all of their stuff. Are there like a few in particular that you would say are above everybody else? Like, I don't know, because you said you have a list. So I mean, I'm all about hearing this.
Well, and some of the authors that I are my favorites at the top of the list don't have as much as some of the other ones. There's some authors that have been on there from the beginning, and they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories. And so I'll like read a story. If I really like that author, I go check out their archives, and I'll go all the way to the beginning and read all the way through. And sometimes I'm doing that for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because they have so many stories on there. And, not to kiss your ass, Sandra, but.
Oh, please.
I mean, Drasna is at the very top of the list of my favorite writers. Along with a couple others like Dandelion Dreaming.
Yes,
I adore
please. Yes, we have to get her on.
Yes.
So we're going to try to work on that.
And one writer who has only actually written 2 separate stories, but the first one was the first one that she had ever done, and it's 100 chapters, but is the most amazing story, and that's SKT 67, and she wrote the Forged in Hell series. Okay. And she's got a work in progress right now called Oil and Water.
Okay.
And it's just really incredible.
I don't think Carlee, have you heard of that?
No, you're going to have to link us to
we're
that
definitely going to
have
to have that info.
I'll definitely send that to you.
And what's the premise? You said it's forged in hell?
Yes, it's a reader insert, and it starts with her being in a bar because supernatural, and she looks over and she sees Dean, and she has a panic attack because she was in hell and he was her torturer.
Oh, link me to this immediately.
Yes,
I need this in my life.
and so it's all about how they ended up as soulmates.
Okay.
And it takes through, I don't remember what season it starts. It doesn't start obviously from the beginning because it's after Dean was in hell. So, it's season 5?
So it could be like anytime, maybe after season 4, like after season 4 starts. Yeah, right? Because he comes back.
Yeah, I think maybe it is. I'm trying to remember if the Leviathans are part of the beginning or not. So somewhere around there.
Yeah, so we're talking maybe season 7, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the bunker involved?
The bunker is involved.
Okay.
It sticks to main canon.
Okay.
It has some of the storylines, but she's added in there, and then there's extra stuff also.
Oh, awesome.
So she wrote it's half main canon, half head canon.
Okay.
Yeah. And she just did this really amazing job with writing these her character development was insane, and is the first fic she ever wrote.
Okay.
And I became friends with her, and I'm like really, really grateful for that friendship too, because she's just a sweetheart.
Awesome. And is she still pretty? You said she's active, so she's still writing.
She has a work in progress right now. I mean, the Forged in Hell series with 100 chapters, that took a couple of years. I mean, that started in 2018 and did not finish until end of 2020 or the beginning of last year. I can't remember.
Wow.
And so, that took a couple of years, and then she took a break for a little while and started with this new one called Oil and Water. And it's another reader insert, and it's only like 8 chapters in, I think, and my mind is going blank on the premise of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really fun and really sexy, and I am a really big fan of smut.
Yeah, you in good company.
Oh yeah. So and I like crack smut, angst smut, fluffy smut.
As long as they're smut.
I mean, right. Well, no, I mean, I have plenty of stories that I love that fall under the other, M, T, and G. But I really like the really adult stories. I like, the smut, of course, is amazing, and I like the show level violence. Some of it goes past that when you're reading the explicit stuff, but it still sticks. It's all plausible. You're like, yeah, that's totally supernatural.
Yeah.
So
so are there any other authors, or is that like I'm so glad I'm in like that top tier level. I love that. Thank you.
Well, there's some that I really love that haven't put anything on for a while. And then there's some that are current writing. And I have to tell you about my absolute favorite crack.
Okay.
It's a smut crack one. And there's 2 of them actually. It's a little series by LittlegreenPlasticSoldier.
Oh, I love
yes.
them.
Yep.
And you want to laugh out loud, fic read. These are it. The first one is called The Wonders of Modern Technology. And the second one is called The Enlightenment of a Man.
I feel
they
like
ring a bell.
And it's there.
What's the premise of both of those?
Well, so I think she's in a relationship with both brothers.
Okay.
And so it's polyamory, and I'm also a fan of polyamory in fan fiction. And so the first one is she buys a pair of
warming underwear.
Warming underwear.
Yes. Oh, I have read that one.
Yes. And then Dean has control of the thing while she's in the car. I laughed my ass off so bad on that one. I was like, this is brilliant.
She gets stuck in traffic, right?
Yes.
And he's like, yes. And he doesn't realize what he's doing to it, right?
No, he has no idea.
Yes.
He thinks it's the remote control for the heater.
Yeah, they think they're doing something really sweet for the reader by installing this thing, and they have like, yes, oh, that one's hilarious. Yes.
And the follow up to that was The Enlightenment of Man, and And so that's her getting payback on him and making him wear the underwear.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. So yeah, it's like tears of joy, crying, laughing so hard.
Oh, that sounds
yeah. So
I
that's
remember that now.
that's
That was
my
awesome.
recommendation for the funniest crack I've ever read. And then I have
we might have
some
to do
other
that then for
authors
Canon
too.
fodder. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and then I just have, I mean, there's, how many do I have on this list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 writers that I follow. Pretty,
cool.
Like I get the notification and like I'm on their story right away. And I can send you guys a list of that too if you want me to.
Yeah.
Yes, please, because we'd love to share that with everybody. No, like just recently, one of my recommendations was I Have a Great Dean by LittleGreenPlasticSoldier, where the dog, he's got the dog characteristics and stuff.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that one was a really good one too. But everything that they write, they're on my, I know they don't write anything. They haven't written anything in a while, right? I mean, I feel like it's been like a couple years?
It's been over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And isn't it sad when like someone you follow like goes away because you don't know what happened?
Yes.
And you worry about them because you get so invested into their storytelling and it's like, and when they come back, you're really happy. And, I live for the email notifications that there's a new chapter, a new story up.
Aww.
Oh, that's so nice to hear though, because we get worried about you as authors when you vanish as a reader and we're like, are you okay? Like you've not kudosed anything. I haven't seen your comments in a while. Are you okay? So it's good to know you worry about us as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I try not to go in that headspace where whatever the reason is they're not around is bad, because life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And and I have seen some of the writers that I follow be away for a long time, and I'll actually sometimes go into a fic that I've already read and just throw a comment in there and check on them.
Yeah.
And if they get back to me, I'm like, yay. And then I just encourage them. I love you. So if you ever get back to it, I'll be right on you.
Yeah.
So,
oh, we love that.
Yeah. And really you are one of the most awesome kudos and commenters.
Yes.
It's funny because in the beginning I did not. I just didn't have a voice yet. And I still felt like I was learning about SPN fanfic. And because they're very different fandoms, their fandoms or their fanfics can be very different in feel and taste. And I don't know how to explain that more than that.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different. And
there's
so
factions, right? Like it's almost like factions within too. Like, and I think like with, especially with Supernatural, it's kind of that way too. Like just people have different interests that they gravitate towards. I know Karlee and I have talked about it a little bit where it's kind of hard to find. I know for me, just sometimes finding Dean original female character, because that's what I tend to gravitate towards when a lot of it is. And I've read a lot of Destiel that I do like, but it's not my preference. And there's so many.
You can be like 2-3 pages in before you find anything that isn't Destiel.
Destiel can be a little overwhelming. And I wouldn't say I'm pro Destiel, but I'm so not against Destiel. I think the idea is very sweet, and I totally understand where it comes from. And I even understand some of the reason for drama, although I think it got a little blown up, but we won't talk anymore about that. And I do, it worries me sometimes though, when the factions go after each other. That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, life is hard enough. We don't need drama in the fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
That's where we go to escape from real life, right? Let's not bring more drama in where we don't need it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you've got people flat arguing on Twitter about, whether these two fictional characters would bone, and you're like, Really though? Like that's all you want to do with your life? Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, shipping is one thing, but you know, you don't have to get insane about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I particularly, I mean, going after characters is one thing, but I get really pissed when people go after the guys.
Yes.
Well, whoever it is, I don't like you going after the people on the show. And if you do that, you're gonna have a problem with me.
Yeah, like it's a fictional character. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want with a fictional character, but if you're turning that around and being like, oh well, Jensen's homophobic, or Jared's done this, or Misha said that, and you're like, fucking stop. You know, they're real people. These are just fictional like characters that they're not real. It's stop that.
Stop it.
Right. Yeah. And I really don't like, I mean, you want to ship the characters on the show, you do that, but don't do that to the actual talent.
Yes.
You know, that's not fair to them. They have lives, and I mean, you know, people can write it and that's fine, you can read it, but when you're so rabid about it, and you know, and you have to make up stuff to support the way you see it, it's like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stop that. It's pointless.
Yeah.
And it always puts the guys in a really bad place as well.
Exactly.
Me and Sandra have talked about this a lot with the whole Destiel thing being canon at the end of 15, and Misha's like, yes, it's this and it's that, and then you notice that Jensen never says anything. He never says yes it is or no it isn't, and I'm like, he's backed into such a corner now because he can't say anything, and I genuinely don't think he agrees with Misha, but he can't. If he says a word now, Jensen's homophobic, Jensen doesn't support queer people, blah, 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 cancel Jensen. So
right, and they've been doing that since the beginning. I mean, some idiot, and I don't remember his name, so you know, and I guess people can look this up if they want to, but this guy wrote a freaking college paper on Jensen being homophobic.
Really?
I swear to God, this Australian guy wrote a college paper. It was like I don't remember if it was dissertation or what. I mean, I can't imagine a professor going, yeah, you can use that as your dissertation. But he actually wrote a paper arguing that Jensen is homophobic.
Oh my God. I kind of want to read it now. I genuinely kind of want to read that and be like, come on then, let's see what points you've got to make for this. Come on.
I didn't read the paper. I just read the, you know, synopsis, and I read about this guy, and he friggin' published this.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think you can actually find it in some obscure section of the internet or
Karlee
something.
will find it. Karlee will get on it and find it.
Yeah, that's what I'll do while I'm at work tomorrow.
And so it's like, really, and I have to say, I have been a part of the queer community since I was 24 years old, and I identify as queer, and I was for a very long time, I was very active in the community, in fighting for rights. I worked on the marriage campaign a lot here locally. And it's actually the county that I live in legalized it before the country did. And so I know a lot of history, and I often see these people that throw around these terms and they talk about queer baiting and they talk about homophobia. And I think, how much do you guys really know about queer history? And how much do you really know about the struggles of the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community since the Stonewall riots? Because most people, that's all they know. And then they know Pride. And they know the celebrations, but that's it. And I don't expect everybody to know everything about all history of any community they belong to. But, you know, that if you're going to critique someone, you better back it up with knowledge instead of just throwing out emotional stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that really drives me nuts.
Yeah. No, you're in good company here, because we're just like, we're not looking at the timeline for a few days because it's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally, anytime something I see, especially at the conventions, somebody mentions something, I'm like, shit, somebody's take that wrong, and it's going to become controversial. And the next thing you know, the fandom on Twitter is absolutely insane. And that's when I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when we go, okay, we're coming to Twitter messages, but don't tell us anything that's happening out there because we don't want to know.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I mean, I do everything I can to avoid the drama, but sometimes you just can't miss it.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, just from what I've seen over the past couple of years on Twitter, I really had no idea about like the supernatural, the fandom, and how still very active they are. I mean, considering we're going to be 2 years, into when they shut down, production, and it's still going strong. It's amazing.
I don't think that's going to change, honestly.
See,
because
I thought
think
it would drop off a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be, right? You think as long as the conventions are a thing too, that's going to keep pumping it?
I think even if the conventions go away, I mean, it'll diminish a little bit, but I think that it's one of the strongest fandoms on the planet. And I think that the reason is because, I mean, if you look at other fandoms, like say, for example, Marvel, giant fandom, I mean, some of these fandoms are immensely huge around the globe. And I think Supernatural is really big for the show. If you compare it to some of the really giant fandoms like Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, some of those. And but I don't think those fandoms are near involved personally, that I don't think the fans are a family. And I don't think they do as much for their communities as the SPN fandom does. And I think those things are things that are the reason why it's such a strong fandom. I think that, like doing the prequel is going to keep it alive. Any spinoffs that come in the future, any, bringing back the show or doing movies or however they're going to do it is going to keep it alive. And the fans are so dedicated. I think there are immensely dedicated fans in every fandom, but I think it's on another level for Supernatural. And so, yeah, I don't see it going away at all. And maybe it'll diminish a little bit over time. I've noticed that some of the writers I follow on AO3 haven't been writing any SPN fiction lately, and they've gone to their other interests. And so I think some of that's going to happen, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna really go away as much as people thought it would. I mean, for one thing, just the fact that it's the longest running sci-fi fantasy show in North America with no breaks. So in some ways it actually beats Doctor Who. That right there, puts it on a level that no other TV show has ever matched. And the cross section too. I mean, you're talking about ages from little kids to the elderly. You're talking about, all ethnicities and races and people from all over the world. And, all the genders are in there and everything. And so I think those are the things that are really strong about Supernatural that will keep the fandom pretty robust.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And I think there's a lot of this sort of the fandom has come together like we have, and like, it's smaller groups that make up a bigger whole. Like Supernatural brought like me and Sandra and me and Dee, and then obviously like you and Sandra, and then it goes from there. And I think that's what's going to keep it alive, because you don't abandon your friendships because the show's ended. So there's still that sense of community there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I think if you see the amount of fan fiction that comes out every day, stop chewing on that.
Karlee, we talked about this.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's late here. I'm hungry.
I don't know. I think this little one is she's upset that I'm not giving her all my attention.
I mean,
She should know by now, right? When Supernatural's the topic, she probably needs to give you some space.
Well, to be fair, I didn't get her till after the show ended.
She doesn't even know.
Right.
You've got to sit her down.
I think the only thing she knows is that I look at my phone like so many hours out of the day. And she's like, I don't know what that thing is, but it makes you not pay attention to me. So
yeah, I'm going to stand right in front of it. What were you doing? Not anymore.
Right.
Yep. Jinx being the goodest of good boys. I have I'm set up in my bedroom because that's where my desk and everything is. So there's a whole ass bed, literally right next to me. But Mr. Fancy Pants over there wants a blanket, and he won't just sleep on the duvet. There has to be a blanket there. And if there's no blanket, he comes and stands in front of my work monitors, and it's just Aya, what are you doing? Not anymore. So
and you have to get up and go put a blanket.
Yeah, because I'm an asshole. I just threw it onto the bed when I came back upstairs to do this. So he's managed to find the most flat part of this bunched up blanket, and he's gone to sleep on the flattest part of it that he can find. It's all bunched up behind him. But he's a good boy. He hangs out a lot of these recordings, and he's just a quiet little munchkin.
He's like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Oh. So, Kristen, when you were saying, we had a discussion about tags on AO3 a couple episodes back. Now, how do you search? I mean, do you use tags a lot when you search for or do you have a different method for finding? Is there another way you search? Do you search by relationship or character, or do you look for particular tags?
I do. I generally do most Dean Reader or Dean OFC. I mean, one of the things about AO3 that I've noticed, so no matter how specific your tag is, you're going to get all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with your tag.
Yeah.
It's just the character name is mentioned as a background character, and that's going to show up, and, and so that's the most. But then, when I want to look for other stuff, I will throw in Dean Reader Sam, or Dean Donna, or whatever I'm in the mood for at the time. And I don't necessarily get picky on under tags, but there are times when I do think that writers should have specific tags mentioned. And I think the one time I it was a triggering tag, and I was like, you really need to put this up. And add this tag. But I generally, people are going to tag the way they want. I was so happy though when AO3 said no more of these novel long tags.
Yeah, they limited it, right? Do they only?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what the limit is now, but at least, I would come up on a story, and it happens more, I think, when you've got what do you call it? More than one fandom. In a story.
Crossovers.
Crossovers,
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
And but you would come up and you this, there's the top info of the story, and then you go, it's like an entire page of AO3 of tags. And it's that's really ridiculous. Give us the basics. That's all we need.
Yeah. So. That was the talking point for me and Sandra in that episode. It was tag things that you feel are important, but be concise. We're not here for pages and pages.
Right. And I have sympathy for people who think that they can't write good descriptions, because inevitably the ones who think they can't do really good.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that I've noticed. It's like I like to study human behavior, and you can even do it through writing and through small interactions. And I've noticed that there are some really, really talented writers that just think they're bad, and they're constantly apologizing and stuff like that. And that's why I always like to lift up the writers that I like, because you all need to know that you're doing something that is having a positive effect on readers. And I just, after I got over my first hesitancy with kudosing and commenting and all of that stuff, I just was like, you know what? I just want to shower my writers with affection, and that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, and that's awesome. I love when I find a work, and one of the things, as soon as I start reading something, I scroll down and I'm like, did Winchester's Queen already like it's on here? Because I'm like, then I know it's quality stuff. If you've already gotten to it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go through and like read the whole thing. But yeah, you're one of like the first names I look for after I've like gone through something. If I like it, I'm like, yep, there she is. Yep, there she is.
It's really funny because I look for you, and I look for Dandelion Dreaming. It's like, I know if either of you have read it, I know I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with that. I know if I see either of those names, I'm gonna be like, whoops, yep.
And
then conversely, if I'm looking at something that I'm like low-key ashamed of, I'm scanning the kudos to see if there's any names I recognize. Like, no one's gonna find out about this. It's okay. Nobody I know has read this.
For the longest time, I was like afraid there were certain, things that I didn't want to leave kudos on, or comment on, because I was like, it's a little kind of out there, not to kink shame, but I go there sometimes. Yeah. And so I was a little afraid. And then finally, I don't know, in the last couple of years, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. If people see this stuff and they see that I'm reading it and they go and clutch their pearls, that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But also, I'm still checking those comments to make sure that I don't see names that I know.
Yeah. Well, I have noticed that with certain, tags that I like, that generally I'm not seeing the people that I know for some of them, but for all the main stuff and the majority of stuff that I do read, I'm always happy to see people I know in the comments, and even other I've become familiar with other commenters that don't even write, just because we, for some reason, follow the same stories all the time. And
I love seeing those comments. Like if you say something and then another person, somebody else is commenting, we're like, oh, look, there they go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I had actually the sweetest thing happen to me just in the last couple months. I came across this news story, and I read it, and it was just fantastic. And so I kudoed and I commented, and the writer came on and said, oh my God, Winchester's Queen, I can't believe you read my first fic.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, really? And they said, I always know it's a good fic when I see you, and I have been a fan of yours.
Oh, that's lovely.
For the last couple of years, because I know that you have this great sense of good writers and good content. And I I almost started crying. I was so sweet.
You need to be like a top
I'm
reviewer.
Not even a writer. I'm not even a writer, and I have a fan.
Yes.
Oh, that was so great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, we absolutely love you. I mean, I can tell you were my second comment on A View to a Winchester. So
I remember that. Yeah. I was that's the same with STK 37. That's what I said. 67. I should know that because it's the Impala. But I was the very first kudos on the first chapter of her story. And I read that first chapter, and I was like, there's absolutely no way this is your first fic. And she was like, yep. Yeah. And I was like, I cannot believe this. I said, this just when I find something that chapter 1 has me so hooked, that I know no matter what, it's going to be like the absolute best story, it makes me excited because I love watching, and I've loved seeing writers develop too. You know, Sandra, watching you, and you know, since the beginning, it's just been like, you've like blossomed, and you were awesome to begin with.
Aw, thank you.
And
That's so
I
sweet.
keep telling her this. Maybe she'll listen now.
I do it all the time in
She
the
does.
comments.
I know, I see,
Yes,
I
she
see. But then I'm
does.
like, Sandra is great. I love it. And she's like, I plot too much. And I'm like, maybe,
No,
but it's
you
great
don't.
anyway.
Aw.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think, do I just have the ass kissing gene, or
No, but it's lovely. I can tell you that. I mean, I'm just one of many authors that I know. Your comments, you know, hearing somebody, you know, interested in wanting to see how it turns out, that gives you the urge to want to continue. So it's lovely to be able to have that opportunity to interact, you know, on AO3 that way, and hear from somebody and what they liked about what you wrote. That, you know, you don't get that feedback a lot, even in like just regular like writing. It's like delayed, or you don't have that immediate connection to people. So I know I've loved AO3 for that reason alone. I'm so glad I found it, you know. And then again, you know, I was reading for a while before I was like, maybe I, you know, let me try and see. And, you know, it's scary to put your stuff out there at first, and to have such welcoming readers and commenters, you know, makes us want to continue. And knowing there's a lot out there for everybody, right? Like there's a lot of different things that somebody somewhere is going to find what you write and is going to love it. So,
right. And it's
exactly
why I have to comment
Yeah.
and give.
You need an award, Kristen. We're gonna make you an award.
I love seeing the work that you guys put out. And I mean, there are seriously like a couple of dozen writers on AO3 that are such talented writers that if they wrote a novel, they'd be a best-selling author. And I am a huge literature fan, and I have read a lot in my life, from classic myth, you know, and ancient to modern day, and, you know, all different types of genres and stuff like that. I'm very well read. And I was a little nervous, honestly, when I got into reading fan fiction initially, because I thought, you know, it's amateur, and I was like, is it going to be that good? And of course, this is way back before Supernatural. And but then I started reading. I was like, you know what? Some of these folks are like seriously talented. And then, I mean, there's a lot of others who are really, really good. And then there are some who I think their story ideas are wonderful. And I think that they have a lot of potential. But they can be difficult to read because their writing is just, they need practice.
Right. And that's what that's all about, right? So the more you practice, the better you get, you know. But yeah, I agree. I think I just love that you cheerlead so much. So I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on in particular, because I was just like, oh, we got to have Winchester's Queen on and talk about her love of fan fiction and her love of authors, because, you know, you're primarily one of the reasons that I know I, you know, just kept writing, and then got another, you know, bug in my, you know, oh, let me try this one, and you're always right there. So just thank you so much. Appreciate all of the time and effort. And I'm glad that we give you something, you know, to keep you occupied for hours.
Oops.
I can absolutely only echo Sandra there. I was so nervous to put anything Dean up, because I was like, Sam's my guy. I know what I'm doing with Sam. But Then Jensen posted that picture, and I was like, I have to do something with this son of a bitch. And I was so nervous about it. And then like seeing you in my comments, and I was like, no, I'm doing it okay. Like, no, it's not terrible.
Well, it's really funny
terrible.
because I always know when they put out certain content what people are going to write stories about. Like the minute that Jensen put out the video of him incorrectly shoveling snow in Telluride, I was like, there are going to be so many fan fictions written about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I felt bad for the guy though, because I'm like, dude, you're putting a lot of work into shoveling that snow, and there's a much easier way to do it.
He's from Texas. He doesn't know how to snow. He doesn't know.
Well, it's funny because my hometown is not very far away from Telluride. And so I'm very familiar with Telluride. And when I found out that they had moved there for the pandemic, I was like, oh, and I don't live that far away from it now. Mm-hmm. So I could have potentially gotten up there. But that's a little longer than just going to Santa Fe. So
yeah, I remember because when they were doing the Rust, you were talking about trying to get there too.
I really wanted to go up and see, and then everything happened, and I was just so sad. And it was for folks who don't know, and I don't hide this because it's a big city, and good luck finding me. I live in Albuquerque, which is the largest city in New Mexico, which is the least known state on the planet, I think, because we actually have a magazine, and one of the columns is one of the 50 is missing, because you would be amazed the amount of Americans that don't know New Mexico is a state.
Really?
And absolutely,
I can believe that.
Okay.
I can believe
it's
that.
Absolutely. I mean, and one of our mottos is not really new, not really Mexico. and so when all that sadness happened, mm-hmm. It just was like all over our news here, and like every night for 2 weeks, mm-hmm. they were reporting on what was going on with the case. Yeah. And I was so heartbroken for Jensen. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is a tragedy. Absolutely. And that comes first. But the fact that Jensen's dream got interrupted and squelched just broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's got we're all waiting to see what happens with Soldier Boy. So, I mean,
dying.
So have you already watched like The Boys? Are you caught up?
No, not yet. I figure I'm going to do that probably in May.
Okay.
And because that way it's all fresh.
Mm-hmm. Karlee, have you figured out when you're going to watch? Because she hasn't. They haven't either.
It'll probably be like sort of May. Okay. End of April, start of May kind of time. Because I'll take some time off I'll take some time off for my youngest kid's birthday. And then while I'm off, I'm like, hi, we're doing this. Just bully him into a bit.
I can't wait to hear what you all think of it, because I mean, I went through the first 2 seasons pretty quickly, like last year when I heard he was going to be on, and my husband and I, sat through and watched it. And I was like, okay, this is definitely something I'm in for. So I'm interested to see what happens with that character, and I'm hoping he's gonna crush it. So then there'll be more fanfic, because now there's very small amount of Soldier Boy fanfic that I could find. So there's only a couple that I've seen so far. So it'll be interesting.
Well, it's hard to write about a character that you don't really know about yet.
Yeah. No, true. Yeah.
And he's the characters in the graphic novel, but Kripke has said that he's not really following the graphic novel, and and that to take the show as its own entity, and they have been really tight-lipped about Soldier Boy. Mm-hmm. And since it started, I was like, that's going to be a really good show. I've been really excited to see it, and I know it's not like Deadpool. It's not your kid's superhero content. And I always get really mad when parents don't pay attention to that. And like, my kid watched it. It's so violent. There's so much cussing. Yeah, that's why it's rated R.
Yeah, like maybe just don't let your kids watch the thing. Jesus, I swear to God.
I know. And so yeah, I'm really looking for. I think he's gonna just kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I read that he was starting in a Herogasm, I was like, oh no. I was like, and I'm not really sure what to think. So I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, even if nobody watches the show, there's going to be gifs and gifs and whatever's going to be all over.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
really.
we're going to watch the show, though.
Yeah,
we're going to watch the show. We're not going to, this is not con season. We're not going to rely on the hits to hit Twitter. We're going to be there. Like every new episode, 9 p.m. Like, yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be realistic, people. It cannot physically be any worse than Walker. So,
how do you?
Y'all are on the winning team here.
How do you? What are your thoughts on Walker, Kristen? Have you watched it?
I have, and I like it. I don't love it, and I think it's a decent show. I don't think it's a good show. I think it's a little overacted. I adore Jared, and I love the idea of him taking on this project. But like, I go to IMDb, and I use that app a lot. And so I always check like the favorite list, the most watch lists and stuff like that. And Supernatural, the lowest I think I've ever seen it get is like 50 something. But it tends to hover around from the 30s to the 50s, somewhere around there on the list of most watched shows. And The Boys has never left the list. I think the lowest I've seen it get is like 74. But Walker has never made the top 100.
Yeah.
And I think that I mean, there's growing pains, so it could, things could change. You got a new character, and maybe changing and writing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of also falls in line with a lot of CW shows, and that there's overacting in it. And I already know that's not what The Boys are.
Yeah.
Or is like, so granted, they're different platforms, make very different shows.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I really wanted to walk. I really wanted to like Walker. I was like, he's going to have a cowboy hat on, and he's going to have jeans, and there's going to be horses, and it's going to be fucking great. And then what happened was there's a whole lot of dead wife, a dick compensating truck that's practically a transformer, and a whole heap of really bad acting. I was very disappointed.
Yes. And then the fact that they threw the Mustang in there, which I get is an homage to Kripke, because that was originally the car he was going to use in Supernatural. But it was like, you know what? No, because it's too obvious.
Yeah. And
you can't, to me, it's not worthy enough of homage to Baby.
I mean,
but
no.
I'm really defensive about Supernatural. So.
Yeah, I think he likes to drop in like those little Easter eggs and stuff, like those little things like, hey, Supernatural family, I see you, and all that, which I think is
absolutely. I think
it's nice
sweet.
And it's very sweet. But yeah, I think trying to figure out what that show is on its own, I think, is really important too. And I mean,
it's only the second season. A lot of shows have a hard time in the first couple of seasons, and then they get better. And then some shows are really great in the beginning, and then they suck later on.
Yeah.
I mean, Lost is a perfect example of that. But you very rarely do you have shows that are completely consistent through their runs. And Supernatural is one of the few that I think, and everybody argues about, seasons 1 through 5, and then Kripke left, and then everything after that. And then they talk about the different showrunners and the different writers and stuff like that. And some of the points I see, and other ones I'm like, oh, get over it.
Yeah.
but that's also where drama comes in, and I'm just not gonna play those games. And it just, because in my opinion, I thought the show was fantastic from the beginning to the end. And I knew, though, when I saw that finale, there were a lot of people going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So at that point, what are your feelings on the episode that shouldn't be named?
I am
the
one of the few
that we don't talk about.
Right. And I have said some things and I've gotten some pushback on it, but you know what? I actually liked it. And I actually thought it was exactly the way it should have gone. As sad as it made me that Dean did not get the life he deserved, I felt like really and truly through the whole show, they always said the only way he was going to go out was in a fight, and that he would probably not live to be very old. And that was a consistent through the show. And I like everybody else, I was like, oh, I want him to have this really nice life. But I also knew that wasn't very realistic.
Yeah.
And actually now I've gotten into the fan fictions about his life in heaven. Because yes, there are those fan fictions.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, Sandra. I never had a problem with the whole Dean going out fighting. Like, I totally agree. That's, it was always phrased that way. There was just a lot of other things in that episode that I had problems with, and I had problems with the ending, and had problems with how they didn't wrap up a lot of things from the end of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like,
it's like I guess you really wanted it to be and again, it's never going to make anybody happy. Like, no one's going to be fully happy with it. So it's one of those things.
And even though I liked it, I did see the problems with it. And one of the things that made me heartbroken for everybody involved with the show is that with the original intention, Dean was going to die, but a lot of the things that we missed out on were affected because of the pandemic, and that really sucks. And I think that it even though they said that not a whole lot changed, I think the potential of having that reunion would have probably included flashbacks. And so I think a lot of just things that we wondered that had been left up in the air over the years would have gotten a bit of a mention and a bit of that finality. And the fact that they couldn't do that was just heartbreaking. It broke my heart for the guys, because I know that would have been a fantastic set of scenes.
Yeah. Well, you were very happy about Jim, though, right? Jim Beaver being able to come back. Like, isn't he big?
I really was. I love him. He's just, he's a really incredible human being, and like both Jared and Jensen and Misha. But he's also just really talented. And, I had never really paid attention. I knew that there were actors that did bit parts in a lot of shows and stuff like that. But it wasn't until Supernatural that I realized how many of these character actors had been on so much of the things that I had seen over the years. And he was one of the ones that stuck out to me, because I remembered him having roles on certain shows, and guest starring roles and stuff like that. And so I was happy that he could be brought back. I think it just was lucky with scheduling. People schedule in Hollywood years out to do projects. And with the show ending, I imagine all of these folks had things scheduled that they couldn't get out of. And can you imagine the cost of bringing everybody back and putting them up for amount of time to quarantine? Never mind just the week or two it would take to film, but they had to be there for, how many weeks before they could even get onto set. And then just the logistics of how everything had to change on set. God, I can't imagine what a pain in the ass that was.
Yeah, absolutely. I just I understand there were limitations with COVID, but there was too much that was left out. There were too many questions that were unanswered for me. So for me personally, I prefer to think that it ended with them driving off into the sunset in 19.
Yeah.
With that nice little montage, and that just makes me happy.
Yeah, I think that's
well, and I know
nice,
several people. Yeah, I know several people who feel the same way. I mean, I know people who didn't like it. I know people who vehemently hated it. Mm-hmm. And I understand. I can totally see those sides of it. But I'm one of the few that did like it. And I, coming from the logistics side of it, as far as Hollywood storytelling goes, I saw where the show was coming from. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely 100% believe Jensen when he said that I think if he didn't still like it, he wouldn't have admitted he didn't like it in the first place. He would have kept his mouth shut. And I think that because I will defend him for his right to defend himself. And I just can't imagine him being okay with having to lie to us. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he would have accepted that. And so I take him at his word when he says he grew to love the ending.
Yeah.
And I don't like people accusing him of, being blackmailed and having something held over. I was like, give me a break. Do you think he ever would have allowed that to happen?
Yeah, it was practically their show by the end of it. They really could have done what they wanted with it. So,
I mean, if he had really insisted on pushing back, they would have changed things.
Yeah.
Maybe not the entire thing, but they would have changed things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we do have proof that he pushed back and they changed things, because the original script called for Dean to be lying down, and Jensen was like, nope, he's
got to go out standing up. Yeah.
I
mean, the fact that he died was not a major disappointment to me. I'm not a fan of what killed him, though. Mm-hmm. I would have rather have seen, like a vampire take a major swipe out of him, and that's how he died, rather than getting stuck on a piece of rebar. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why they made that choice, but
yeah, I think Karlee and I are going to have a discussion about fate versus free will, and I'm all about trying to unpack that damn rebar and what that was.
Yeah, what was it about?
Yeah.
I think for the sake of it, what monster could you have given? Like they said themselves, they didn't have any more big bads to fight. And what monster could you have given that they hadn't already fought? And then you go, oh, well, all the other times it was fine, but just this one time, I think it had to be something.
Yeah.
Something inanimate like that. And taken out of the context of the final episode, that death scene is beautiful. It's heartbreaking.
Oh, it really is.
I hate it to the very depths of my soul, because I cried for so long afterwards. My poor husband did not know what to do with me.
Yeah.
I was just walking around, I was going, it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
I know. And the second
taken out of the whole context, I think it's a really beautiful moment. And I think it really comes full circle from Dean looking after Sam to Sam looking after Dean in those final moments. It's just everything around it that I hate.
Yeah. Well, and I knew the minute they had the tiny focus on the rebar that it was going to play a part.
My husband said that. My husband's
wasn't sure how.
Oh, and I was like, what? And he's like, oh.
I saw it.
Oh no.
Shit. Yeah, I saw it and I went, shit. And then the second that he went up against that, I started bawling, and I bawled for hours after the episode ended. Yeah. I was so distraught. And
I think I checked in with you that night just to say.
Yeah, you're like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm crying. I think I finally stopped crying a couple hours after.
It really did take a while, because it was just, it was the despair scene with Castiel that really started, I think, the floodgates for me, that one episode.
Oh,
and then it was as soon as that, I was like, how do they still have half an hour left? It's show because I was just a mess. I was a mess. It was horrible. It was so sad. It was so sad losing Dean like
and
that.
I was so heartbroken for Sam. And I mean, and honestly, as much as I liked the episode, that last half of the episode could have been a lot better.
Yes.
I think that they could have done more fleshing out of his life after leaving the bunker. And I'm also one of the people that thinks that and I don't remember who it was. One of the showrunners said that there was like a certain amount of time in between defeating God and the last episode. And it was like a few years. I can't remember, like 5 years or something like that. And I tend to agree with that. I never ever thought it was like immediately after they defeated God that Dean died. You know, it's not
let's
like
hope, right? Like we can at least hope that, because I know that I think I tend to be like, it wasn't that much time, but it would be nice to hope that, you know, he had a good few years after all of that. Yeah.
Well, and I just think, I mean, you know, he found Miracle, and how they had to give him time with Miracle.
Yeah.
You know, they had to, because that he was so, when he found that dog, that was one of the sweetest things I'd ever seen on the show ever, because he was so anti-dog through the whole thing. You know, Sam was like,
no dogs in the car.
No.
I knew I could smell dog. Yeah.
And the fact that was what he became enamored with. And you know, I never know. I've never found out. I know some people have speculated about like what sex Miracle was. I mean, we know that the dog who played Miracle was a her, but they never said if it was a boy or a girl. And people have thrown stuff out, and I'm like, does it really matter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that relevant?
It's a dog.
Right. Yeah.
It's a dog.
It's a dog, and they were fluffy and cute and sweet, and seeing him cuddle with Miracle, oh my God, that killed me.
Yeah. I still want him to be a cat person though.
I know. I was one of the things that I was so sad about. Is like, I'm allergic to cats. Damn it.
Oh, you can push through that, Dean. If you could deal with us.
That didn't well exist. Suck it up.
So, get shots.
Yeah. I actually know that that's possible, because I actually did it. I was deathly allergic to cats when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I wanted a cat so bad, and I got a cat, and I became 99% immune now.
I did that with my cat too. I was highly allergic. I just spent like 9 months with her when I got her, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to deal with all this, and it'll be okay. I'll put her in. She'll have some away time from me so that she doesn't infect every piece of fabric in my house, and I'll be okay. And yeah, I was able to do it too. He could have done it. He could have done it.
He could have.
Yeah, he could have.
And honestly, if he had found the right partner,
Dee wrote that. And yeah, Dee's got a cat in one of her travels, if you haven't read it yet.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that. And
Mr. Mittens. I love Mr. Mittens.
And I remember reading that. I thought, you know what? Yep. If he's gonna have a cat, he's gonna have a monster of a cat.
Yeah, he's not gonna have some little fluffy thing. It's gonna be a beast. Yes.
Right. It's like the idea of him carrying a purse with a little tiny poodle in it or something.
No, never.
Yeah,
never.
no.
He's gonna have like a real, yeah, absolutely. Oh, God, I love
Oh, that would make a hilarious
go
crack fic. I would let mind seeing something like that in a crack fic, though. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, little tiny
maybe a little tiny Mr.
dog.
Mittens. How about Mr. Mittens? Who's really tiny.
Dog.
Maybe bringing him.
Yeah,
how tiny? I mean, how fast do they grow? Do you know, like Maine Coons? Like how fast do they get to like that? big size.
Well, I mean, with all cats, you know, they're not full grown till they're 2. And so, I mean, they can get really close to it at 1, and not get much bigger. And Maine Coons tend to follow that because they're still cats.
Yeah.
And, and so, it's that first year growth that is much more startling than your average cat. And, you know, because unlike dogs, how you get a puppy and you know they're going to be a huge dog because they have massive paws. Well, Maine Coon kittens just look like little kittens. They don't have an indicator that they're going to be a big giant cat, other than the fact that you know it's a Maine Coon.
Yeah.
You know, and then that first year growth, by the end of the first year, they're pretty much full size.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing.
So
but
could have
German
had, like,
Shepherds are the same. Yeah. Right. So, but can't you see him?
D.
Right? Can't you see him like with a little kitten and like cuddling a little kitten?
The cutest thing. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bug D. I'm gonna be like, it's my birthday next week. Can we have a Mr. Mittens fic? Just try to emotional manipulate her a little bit. She'll be like, please, though, please, you're so good. And you don't write anymore. And we're all sad.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, Kristen,
I miss her.
Yeah. This has been great. I'm gonna, since I think we've
done
almost 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And I know
that's
Karlee
reserved for us.
Yeah. And Carly's got work in the morning, so I think we're
oh my goodness, yes, I know it's getting late there.
But can we try to like encourage you maybe to come back again, like and chat with us? Would that be okay?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. I had a lot of fun. Thank you gals so much. You guys are fantastic at this, and
always welcome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the podcast, so yay.
Oh, good. So yeah, and definitely we're going to get all of those links and awesome. Well, we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you guys too, and thank you for just being such a positive contribution to my life with your stories.
Well, thank you so much.
Goes both ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us. It's been really sweet. Do you want to throw out any links in case anybody wants to get in touch with you? Throw out your Twitter or anything like that?
Well,
you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find me on Twitter, my handle is Kristen Winchester, and my what do you call it? Kristen _
handle?
Levy.
Your handle.
Handle. Yeah, handle. Yeah. So all small letters, Kristen _ Levy, LEVE.
Okay.
So
Bob.
And if you're on AO3, you'll know to look out for Winchester's Queen on any of the stuff that you
with another underscore.
Yes, with an underscore.
Underscore,
underscore Queen.
I have not. I don't know how that happened, honestly. I thought, well, it's not what everybody else has, so that's why I'll use it.
Yeah, no, it's
awesome. We love
it.
I love an underscore. I love an underscore in a name. It's great. So again, thank you very much for coming, talking with us.
Thank you, ladies.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Where we're going to start to discuss Kristen's pick for Canon Fodder, and it's The Wonders of Modern Technology by LittleGreenPlasticSoldier. We've talked about this author over and over and over again. I know I'm going to bring a few more of their pieces in that I've just liked so much, but this one's a little different from I think what we would normally recommend, because I think safe to say we're more mature, explicit recommendations overall. And even though this has themes, it's not. But of course, Karlee's going to try to remind me, because I only read the first part, which is The Wonders of Modern Technology. There's a sequel, which is The Enlightenment of a Man. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it is. Okay. It is. Look at this, guys. I'm the one that's organized this time. Today. It's me. I'm doing the thing. So the wonders of modern technology. Kind of obviously you'll have Sandra's sort of reading on this one, but it's the reader, you, buys what they think are warming underwear. And it turns out that they are, in fact, vibrating underwear. And there's a cute little mix-up with a phone app that ends up syncing up to the wrong thing. And so the sort of the long and short of it is the boys try and get the reader, the female lead, out of the bunker so they can install a heater for her because she's constantly complaining that she's cold. So they're doing that as a surprise. And they're like, oh, this is going to be so nice. She's really going to like this. And the company that makes the underwear and the company that make the heater are the same company. So there's a bit of a mix up with the thing.
Just fair, to be honest. Like, that's quite a range of items that you're going to sell.
Yeah. It's, I think if I remember correctly, she leaves her phone at home by mistake. She goes out.
She does it on purpose. She brings a burner because.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's going to meet somebody for a something and she leaves her phone at home. So the boys set up the heater and then they're like, hey, she's got the app on her phone. That's weird. Yeah. And they start dicking about with the app thinking it's for the heater. And in actual fact, they're torturing this poor girl in the car on the way home.
The one thing I liked in the very beginning, the writer says, who purchases from Facebook ads anyway? No one's sensible. That too. And I can attest that Facebook ads are the devil, because my mom, who is just getting used to technology and she's on Facebook, literally once a week, San, what is this? What is this? I'm like, Mom, please. I'm like, we tried ordering something from Facebook before. You were never happy with it. It was not good quality. Let's not do this to us. Let's not do this again. So I will say, Facebook ads are the devil. Don't buy anything from a Facebook ad.
To be fair, I've never bought anything from a Facebook ad, but I do see things on Facebook ads and I click on them and I'm like, that looks good. And because I'm in the UK, they tend to be American companies. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's decently priced, because they convert the price. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's decently priced. And you can get all the way to checkout before it goes boom, like £25 in shipping. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. Really? I wanted that toothbrush.
What I'll do is if I see something on Facebook, I will then do some research on something and see if like how many places is the same thing sold, because you will be surprised how many places the same item is sold. But yes, I feel bad for the reader, but then I'm also like, I kind of think you set yourself up to be disappointed on a lot, even though one would say the end result was not disappointment. It was a means to an end of everybody getting their feelings out, I guess. In this particular story. So it is very cute and very funny.
It is funny.
It's hilarious to me when she's in the car. There's so much going on. So the one thing I made a note of, okay, first off, toot sweet, that term, is that what's toot? Do you know what toots like? I get what it means. Like they got the job done, toot sweet, like quick. I'd never heard that term or phrase until I read this story. Is that a British UK thing?
Maybe. Let me just find the yeah, I think it just means like quick.
If you're trying to find the document, I put it under FicRecs. Yes.
Just and I have got the document,
because you know me. I decided to put it somewhere. Probably
she's so organized. She's so organized, and she moves things around constantly. So I go back to the podcast folder, and I'm like, "Fuck, has she put that now?" Good
it's
Lord,
my brain organization. So then Karlee has to think of how would Sandra organize this.
Yeah. Oh, I googled it, and it means like right away. It's basically an English bastardization of the French expression, which I will not attempt to pronounce, but basically means like at once or right away. And because apparently in World War I, British soldiers serving in France but couldn't speak French adopted the phrase as tout sweet, which means hurry up or look smart. So
well, that's cute. It's a cute phrase. I want to use it now, like a lot. I just just have people look at me like, what? It's too sweet.
It is. That's a much nicer phrase than the ones I give you.
No, I like
if you consider calling people wankers, Sandra, that's really effective over here.
I like using it when I'm just discussing with my husband. about certain people. No, I do like I like a lot of your phrases, and they're not all they're cute. You have a lot of cute phrases. We just have very like, I don't know. I don't like our phrases as much as like over the UK phrases. I think they're cute. But I figured something along that lines because of the way some of the words are written, like recognizes is with, an S and not a Z. So I was like, okay, I have a feeling where the writer, the background and stuff. But
tiny slight deviation on S's versus Z's. I work in the UK, but the company I work for is an international company. So all of our software that we uses American English, and then I get that bastard red line when I write something that's proper fucking English because the systems want me to put a Z in there, and I'm like, that's not how you spell that. You don't spell realized with a Z, it's with an S. Like, that's wrong. Just stop it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I can see that, and like I'm looking at mine now and recognizes has a red line under it because it's got an S, where if I change that to a Z, there we go, we're all good. So the one thing,
slight detour.
The one thing that I've said this before about this author, they just do something with sound and in their stories that I feel they really tap into that sense really easily. They did that a lot in another one that I know I'm going to want to recommend, Toil and Trouble, but just the sounds and like the different scenes and how they pull. It's a great thing. I really love it. I love that use of that sense, because sometimes I don't know if I do it as much. So I actually, I guess, model. Like I've kind of learned to think about all the different senses in the room. Like, what are you tasting? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? Tactile, like that kind of stuff. Like, and I know that can get into description sometimes a little much, but I like kind of fleshing that out. But I like that they can distill things in terms of like what they're describing. And it was fun reading the first few pages of this because I really had to try to like act some of those things out that the reader was experiencing, like in the car, like how would that sound? What would be happening? What would be occurring? So it's really, it was fun. Like I probably would have like read the whole thing, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I did get a couple pages in because it was just great. And the first thing that the reader's worried about, which I was like, is a Dean. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, so it was like right then and there, it's like, okay, here we go. It's all about like, oh my God, I hope Dean's not the one doing this. Cause like, it's one thing to have to deal with Sam, which was funny in and of itself, the way they had written it. But for the fact that it would have been Dean, it was a whole other ball game and had a whole other connotations to him working the dial for devious and whatever purposes he had. Why was he doing it? Or like that kind of thing. Like she's immediately thinking, well, why is this? What's going on? Like, did he find it? What's the deal? Just all about that. And the trucker.
Yeah. Oh my God. It really is. It's a really funny fic, and it's one of those sort of like almost like slapstick comedy of errors kind of things where you like think it can't get worse, and then it ratchets up every time to like just below the point of utter absurdness. And it's really, really well written. And there's this whole scene with the trucker, and then I'll be honest, it kind of starts to lose me at the end a little bit, because she comes back to the bunker, and obviously this underwear vibrates, and she's like, I mean, we can all debate about how realistic sex might be in fan fiction, but it's quite unrealistic for me. She's like, oh right, teetering on the very edge, she needs to turn the underwear off, da da da. And I know for me, if I'd been in that situation, I would have stormed in there and been like, why the fuck are you messing with my phone? And I would have maybe made it clear, not necessarily exactly what was going on, but I would have made it clear that they'd been messing with my phone and fucking stop that. But she doesn't, and she's sort of like trying to keep it under control. And then there's a whole, Dean's like, oh no, let me take you to your room. And then the finale occurs, and then she's really embarrassed because it happened in front of Dean, and I'm like, baby, what? Like, can honestly say I've never had an orgasm and then been embarrassed afterwards. Have you had one before? They're fucking great. Really? So it's just, it did lose me a little bit at the end because it was like, there's all this like angst and drama and stuff.
Well, again, it was
still funny, but I was like,
yeah, I think that's the whole point of it. Is just she's like on and on about like, she can't, like, Dean can't find out and Dean can't this and that. So I get the dragging it on for the story itself, just because there has to be then that realization, on Dean's part, like, right, like, so I get like she's trying to hold it back. It has to be, for it to have that, I think, that moment, you got to see that recognition on his face without a lot of prodding on her part, and I get it could have happened a couple different ways, but I really like that. There's a couple lines that I highlighted. One of those bastards is tasing your bean into delirium. I just loved that.
This writer is so good with turns of phrase and things like that, and I really, really love it.
Yeah. So there's a lot to this. That's really good. But yeah, the trucker, there's the one scene where he's like, again, the visual, like they do it in one sentence. Like after a few seconds, he takes a few steps your way, walking as though his hands are stuck to his knees. And I could see it, you know what I mean? And it's that,
yeah,
I love being able to read that and you don't have to talk about it for a paragraph. You got that one thing out and done, and that he's sort of like a older Dean doppelganger, and that like makes it worse. And she's just like, oh God, no, please. I don't need you right here, right now, as this is happening, as I'm wondering if Dean is doing that. And there's a thing she wrote about Sam. Where is it? I can't find it now, but I know I did it about Sam, where it was just like, she'd be okay if it was Sam having to deal with his bitch face or whatever.
Oh yes, it's that might be,
maybe it's towards the end.
like it is towards the end, and she's like, I would have dealt with Sam's bitch face and everything, but it's way more embarrassing because it's you. And like, as a certified Sam model, I was like, fucking what? You want to what? Like, no.
That's why I highlighted that, because but yeah, it's I think if you want to laugh, just really like giggle or laugh out loud, I think there's just a lot of things, like Karlee was saying, just a comedy of errors and just one thing after another, just piling it on. It's really funny. And so for the sequel, do you want to give like a little synopsis of that too, and like the enlightenment of a man? Because like I said, I didn't read that, so I didn't read that for that.
Yeah, I read these after we'd spoken with Kristen. I did find the thing about Sam though. It's right near the end.
Okay.
And like the sort of the line is, oh God, the awkwardness. You throw yourself backwards, flopping on the bed, and work your way up to the pillows. He'd be twitching and shuffling around me for a month, mumbling his good mornings and squinting at shit. I couldn't cope. And I can see that. I can see that so clearly. It's so good.
It's almost like he'd be hitting a reset button in his head. And like, I love that. But yeah, the reactions are great.
The sequel is, so the reader ends up sort of really embarrassed and kind of avoiding Dean, because as the grand finale happened, and it's so mortifying in front of Dean, like, babes, just take his pants off, like, I don't know what you're doing here. Like there's options at this point. But fine, it's fine, it's fun thing. We'll suspend our disbelief for a little while.
Yeah.
So then there's like a little bit of a rift between the reader and Dean in all his fucking idiot glory. God, I love that man. He's such a fucking idiot. He's like, well, if I put the underwear on and get her to fuck around with the app on me, then she won't be embarrassed anymore. And it's insane. Like, you ever had a friend like give you a dumb idea and you're looking at him like, fucking what?
Does he run it by Sam? Does Sam know what happened, or is it still just like between the two of them? Because that I don't remember. Like, is Sam also mortified because he knows, or did they just keep it between the two of them? Because I could see him. I can't remember if like he would run that idea by Sam, and just Sam would look at him like, dude, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Do you remember?
I'm just having a look now.
I feel like he doesn't know. I feel like she wouldn't have wanted him to know.
No, because because Sam fucks around with the app on Dean as well by accident. So no, he doesn't know. So although Dean doesn't leave the bunker and have to embarrass himself in public, Dean has the same sort of situation of someone fucking around with the app and not being aware of what's going to happen. But of course, Frida cottons on very quickly and is like, what have you fucking done? Why are you like this? Jesus Christ. And then what comes after that is an absolutely fucking fabulous bit of femdom out of nowhere, because she's like, oh, so you thought if you experienced what I experienced, we would be equal and it would be fine. Really, Dean? Really? Take a fucking seat. I was in the car. And she literally takes him, like, I can't remember if it's his room or her room, back to a room and makes him sit down as if he was sitting in the car and fucks around with the app and, like, talks him through. It was like, she's like, yeah, so I was doing this and then you fucking turned it right though. And again, there's those wonderful, wonderful sensory descriptions, of sort of Dean's reaction and stuff. And, like, you could tell she's, like, it's not heavy femdom, but, like, I see that shit everywhere. I'm looking for it actively. So it was there for me. I was like, holy balls, that's great. And it's like, she's kind of enjoying having that power over him. And then we get to the grand event with Dean. And it's not disappointing. It just, like, it gave me blue balls because no sex happens, guys. I'll just be straight with you. They don't fuck. Maybe they fuck afterwards, but they don't fuck in this fic. There's just like a little bit of grinding and an orgasm, and then everybody's like, well, that was awkward, wasn't it? And then they're like, I like you too, you know? And I was like, oh, you could have done so good with this. My God, you could have done so good. But I get the idea in the author's mind was to completely reverse the scenario and ape exactly what had happened to the reader with Dean, and it's still good and it's still genuinely laugh out loud funny at parts, just the same as the first one. But just, like, I would be remiss if I wasn't like, if you were expecting really good fucking at the end of this, it's not there. You'll have to invent it in your mind afterwards. But it is, really great fic. It's a really great author. I've got fics from this author that I'll be bringing to Canon Fodder, just the same as Sandra. I think, was I Have a Great Dean? Was that by this author as well?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
And they know how to write a good sex scene.
Yeah, they do.
There's a lot going on. There's another one that I'll probably recommend. That's a phone sex one. I find that one absolutely amazing. And again, sensory, all that stuff. So yeah, they're just, when you have an author that does a lot of things equally well, that's a keeper. That's a treasure. So, and they do that with a lot of their stuff. And I think this is one of those situations where we talked about it too, Karlee, where you write something and then you leave it up to the readers to continue. Imagine, so I think they've given us the goods in a lot of other stories. I think this is definitely one of those where it was like, well, let's just explore, like you said, there's flipping it and how that experience is for Dean. It's interesting. And I think we've talked offline a little bit more too about, I think I'm, trying to explore more things too about that, just, I guess, I don't know if you just call it vanilla or whatever, but different ways to experience being intimate with people. And this is, this is them on their way to probably doing more of those things. But this is okay, let's get past the fact that I like you, you like me, but we're too stupid to want to actually say anything to each other, and we've got to go to this ridiculous scenario for when we finally are open, with our feelings with each other. This is where I think reader needs to use words and Dean Winchester needs to use words would probably be appropriate.
There's a tag for that.
Tags.
There's a tag for that. There's a tag for Sam and Dean, which is Sam/Dean Winchester needs to use actual words because I've used it. Yeah. There is a tag for that. It's as like I said, guys, it's a really good fic. It's genuinely laugh out loud funny. It's like I trend towards much more explicit things than this, but sometimes it's nice, it's nice to just take a break, dial it back a little bit and, be genuinely entertained by something, even if it just makes me kind of grit my teeth and just be like, just fucking talk to each other. But I have that in real life as well. Like, I'm older now, but you remember being younger and your friends were like, oh, I like so and so. We'll tell them. Oh God, no. Well, why? What the fuck? Like, nothing happens because you make moony eyes at somebody. Tell them. So it's definitely a me problem. It's not. It's a me problem. It's a me problem in fanfic. It's a me problem in real life. But again,
but it's also a thing like you would hope. Again, like you've got. I mean, I don't know how old Dean is supposed to be here, but I mean, they're in the bunker for God's sake. So we're talking like mid-30s. Like I can understand.
It's got to be over 30.
Yeah,
like
mid-30s at least.
Full
yeah, it's like, come on, guys, come on, let's get it together. But again, we wouldn't have this fun story if they could use their words as well as we want them to. So you gotta take what you get, I guess, if you want to be entertained. So on a note about Winchester's Queen, she gave us a ton of recommendations that we're also going to put. We might just do a link to the document because she's got about, I don't know, 10 different links to some different writers on AO3 that she recommends. And again, Winchester's Queen is like, we bow down to. So I want to make sure if you get a chance to see some of the people that she shouts out that she enjoys. So we'll add that to the description. So you have that to look back on.
Probably like Sandra writes the description, so I don't want to put words in her mouth. I'll make work for her, but it will probably be easier. We'll just bob in a link to the document, because if you watched last episode, you will see there's a link in the description for that to Sandra's beautiful, beautiful Dean hair document, which I didn't put in the description. I forgot all about it. She's like, I've updated it. I've updated it. She wanted y'all to be able to see her fabulous table. It was a thing of beauty.
I can't help it. Sometimes when there's a lot of work, you just want to be like, you know what? If you're so inclined to see my craziness and how much sometimes I fangirl a bit much. Yeah, let's have a Dean hair table for you guys to look at.
Absolutely. And just before we say goodbye, guys, because that is the end of this episode. Just while we're sort of on the subject of things in the description. In the description of this video, there will be links to charities you can use to support people affected by the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. There'll be a charity for sort of global, so anyone around the world can use it. And then there will be a US specific charity there as well. Absolutely no obligation for anybody, but if you feel you want to donate and help out those people, there will be links there for sort of our pick of charities in the description below.
Do the good if you feel like doing some good, and so we appreciate that. So I guess we'll do our usual. Here's where you can find us. If you want to reach out to me personally, I'm going to try to remember now. Hold on, it's been a while, Karlee. So I've got to remember all of my different ways. Okay. So if you want to email us, it's idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. On Twitter, we're idling in the letter D, Impala. If you want to reach out to me personally, you can find me on Twitter at as Kyle writes. It's SKYLEWRITES. On AO3, I am Drasna. That's DRASNA. If you want to find out more about my original fiction or just contact me on my website, it's sandrakyle.com. I did it. Yay.
Yay. You did the thing. This is the lady that made a table to rank 5 haircuts into 15 different options. And she's all over the place. I'm not. I'm the opposite. I make the joke every time. Sandra's the organized one. I am the agent of chaos, except in this one specific area. So if you want to reach out to me, I am on Twitter as Karlee Karma. Again, I make this joke every time. However you think that might be spelled, it's probably not. So that would be K for Kilo, A for Alpha, R for Romeo, L for Lima, E for Echo, and then Karma as you would spell it normally. So I'm Karlee Karma on AO3. I'm also Karlee Karma on Twitter. It's the same profile picture, just in case you think, hey, I wonder if there's 2 people with a weird spelt name out there. Same profile picture, probably me. And Sandra's giving you all the details to get in touch with us. And absolutely, reach out to us, email us, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Give us some fanfic recommendations. We'll read them. We'll not critique them, but we'll talk about them. Let us know what you think.
We are so happy that somebody's listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back soon. So take care Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
If 3 different types of pie can't tear him away from the television, nothing will. God, I hope the movie's done by now.
All I know is I am deserving of some hair care tonight.
By hair care, you mean running your fingers all through Sam's.
Absolutely.
Well, baby's back safe and sound, and we've got some boys to see.
Thanks for coming along for the ride. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll give you the keys to take her for a spin.
Where's the pie?
Look at these chemicals. You even read the label?
No, I read pie. The rest is just blah, blah, blah.